If you've ever said, I barely eat and I still can't lose weight, this episode is for you because sometimes slow metabolism isn't caused by doing too little, it's caused by doing too much for too long. So let's learn about it.
Welcome to the CrossFit Edwardsville Community Podcast, where we hear and learn from our coaches, CrossFitters, and Glen Ed community leaders. Now, here are your hosts, Dallas and Greg.
So in this series, we're talking about 9 legitimate ways to naturally boost metabolism. This is the third episode in the series. In the first episode, we laid out the first 3 ways you can naturally boost metabolism. In the second episode, we laid out the next 3 ways. We're going to lay out 3 more all-natural ways of boosting your metabolism in this episode. And I've subtitled this episode, Why Eating More and Smarter Can Actually Speed Up Your Metabolism, because that'll be a theme that we are talking about here. So let's jump into it. First up, eating enough calories so you're not starving your metabolism. What do I mean by that? If you are chronically under-eating, you will lead your body to do a metabolic adaptation where your body will actually lower your resting energy expenditure. You'll lower your non-exercise thermogenesis we talked about in a previous episode. You'll actually also lower your thyroid output, leads your body into a survival response. And it becomes, at that point, not a willpower issue at all. It's a survival instinct. Your body goes into a sort of protective shutdown. If your body thinks food is scarce, it doesn't burn calories faster, it burns them slower. So this is one of the things that sometimes leads to dieting only working in the short term, not longer term, because sometimes extended calorie deficits can lead to fatigue, muscle loss, hormonal down regulation. So sometimes, and in some settings, repeated dieting can backfire on you. Now, what's important to know is that your body's not broken. It's doing exactly what God intended for it to do. So practically speaking, having periods of maintenance calories is a healthy way of approaching it, where you dial the calories back for a bit, then you sustain for a bit, maybe you dial calories back for a bit and sustain. Sometimes your reverse dieting approach or controlled refeeds can restore metabolic rate. It's important that your fuel at the highest level should also match your training volume. So if you're exercising more, you can slightly adjust volume of food intake to match that, and then vice versa also. But you can't scare your body into burning more fuel, which is why it's super important not to be chronically under eating. That is the first point I want to make in this episode. The second is that hydration can be an overlooked metabolic multiplier. You see, water, your hydration, is required for fat metabolism, it's required for digestion, it's required for thermoregulation, and even mild dehydration can lower your resting energy expenditure, meaning your metabolic rate can be less if you are dehydrated. Fat loss literally requires water, and if you're dehydrated, the process slows down. So sometimes dehydration can be misinterpreted as hunger. And if you are dehydrated, it can lead you to eating more when maybe what you needed wasn't more food, it was just a glass of water. Low water intake can also reduce your training output. If you're dehydrated, it can compromise your workout performance in a way that maybe you're not getting the best workout you could have gotten. And when your performance drops and you've got less muscle stimulus, that too can lead to a lower metabolism. And that's very important to know. So if you need some general guidelines for how much water to drink, start with half your body weight I'd say you have 100 pounds, half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 100 pounds, 50 ounces, you weigh 200, 100 ounces per day is a start point. It's not the right thing for everybody, but it's a really good general start point if you don't have a more specific protocol. You would want to increase your water intake if you sweat heavily, if you train intensely, or if you drink any caffeine or alcohol, because those are diuretics. while I take a shot of clean, cold water myself. So, guys, your metabolism does not run well on empty. It doesn't run well on dry. Be sure you're getting enough hydration. And my final point for today is that you should use intensity strategically. See, high intensity exercise work improves your conditioning, it improves your post exercise caloric burn. But if you never have periods of reduced intensity, that can lead to elevated cortisol levels, impair recovery, and possibly lead to metabolic slowdown. Because intensity is powerful, but it's a tool. It's not something to be done constantly and all the time. In CrossFit world, we definitely embrace intensity, but we also have here at CrossFit Edwardsville, we have deload weeks and we have zone 2 workouts built into the protocol so that we can be doing not just the high intensity intervals all the time, but also building the aerobic base. We do strength work, we taper and we vary volume and intensity in intelligent, thoughtful ways that are built-in buffers against overdoing it. We have that built in, but if you don't have that built in, you want to consider using intensity in measured doses and not necessarily all the time. On this point, you don't need to redline or max out every single workout. You don't want to overload your stress that way. Smart programming, whether it's from us at CrossFit Edwardsville or on your own, will have harder days and then also easier days, deloads, recovery days, practically speaking. So more sweat isn't always better. Sometimes it's just more. Hopefully that makes sense. So this has been our third episode in our series on legitimate ways to naturally boost metabolism. We'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. Tell us your thoughts and what your takeaways from this are and how you personally find you like to boost your metabolism. Tell us in the comments and we'll keep the conversation going there. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Thanks for listening to my dad's podcast. For more useful tools and guidance, go to CrossFitEdwardsville.com and feel free to like, share, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comment sections down below. See you in the next episode.